Hello, welcome to Willow Talk once again. Adam Peacock alongside Brad Haddin and Alyssa Healy. Hads as he throws his fisherman friends across the big weekend, obviously. You need your fisherman friends on a Monday morning.
No, good weekend. Good weekend.
Tuesday morning, I should say.
Yeah. Mate, I'm a taxi now on weekends. Kids sport.
Yeah.
Drop them at golf, pick them up at touch. That's all I do.
Yes.
About time.
Heels, how are you
G'day.
feeling?
Yeah, look, I'm not the best version of myself, everyone, but I'll be right. Hads is a sympathy spewer, so if something goes wrong today on the episode, it could be hilarious.
Big morning at pre-season, was it?
No, just something's going. I'm really healthy, guys.
Yeah.
Going well.
Are you a sympathy spewer?
Nah.
So you just cop it.
You can handle it.
Yeah. 4 kids, you grow up.
Oh, no, I can handle my kids.
Yeah.
But if someone else goes, I'll go with them.
No. That's their problem over there.
Move on.
Anyway,
Going really well, everyone. Thanks.
That's a great start to it. Because we wanted to headline this. This whole episode is Australia win a test match and England get thrashed.
How good.
With all due respect to our English friends, well done India in that second test over there. We'll get into that in detail in this episode. And Australia take an unassailable 2-0 lead in the best of 3 in the, won't call it the Brendan Julian, I'll call it the Frank Worrell Trophy over there. So retained for Australia.
Had it for 30 years.
Not giving it back anytime soon on the evidence we have seen once again in the Caribbean. And Australia A doing okay in their games against Sri Lanka A. So we've got plenty of cricket to talk about. Make sure you follow us on social media. Just search Willow Talk Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. Plus head to Listener Sport to watch the full episodes on YouTube or the shorts. And we've had a bit of interactions from our post about Hads' claim that it was shit cricket. 9 for 820 declared in a county match last week, and kind of hard to disagree with you, Hads. But a lot of comments saying it was shit cricket because of the shit Kookaburra balls. Sorry to swear so much at the start of this, but a lot of comments under that post saying it's all to do with the fact that using Kookaburra balls this round of county cricket and for the next couple.
Oh, well, you know what? That makes perfect sense why the captains didn't declare then and make a game of it. 100% the ball should have declared.
Declare the ball.
Oh, yeah. Perfect sense. The reason the captains didn't declare and batted to 800 is because the Kookaburra ball didn't declare.
So for the 8 county games that were played in the most recent round across Division 1 and 2, there were just 3 results. And just about every game had an innings of 500 plus. Some of them 800 plus. A couple of 700s in there as well.
Well, can you put that back on the groundsman a little bit in, like, if you know that this round is going to be the Kookaburra ball, can you prepare a wicket that might offer a little bit more? Because it's been very dry over there. It's been very hot and the wickets are very flat. I get that. But could you spice it up for one round?
Or is it the other way? They're thinking is that's what you're going to get when you get to Australia. You're going to get a Kookaburra ball that doesn't offer much when it gets old. And you
find a way.
Yeah, you've got to find a way to get wickets. And that's what they're doing it for. I remember at the start of, I think Starcy brought it in.
Yep.
They were using the Duke's ball. You had bowlers bowling $110, getting 6 for 25 because the ball was moving everywhere. It was doing no good for the batters or the bowlers. And they made a decision to change it to develop better test cricketers. And that's what it's all about. And that, like as I said, shit cricket. The reason I said shit cricket is, yes, you can bat and get 800, but that's actually not teaching anything how to play under pressure. Yes, you get 100, your stats look good, but are you preparing players to play test cricket and play under pressure? That's where I'm coming from.
Well, it seems like getting wickets was the hardest part of it. So if that was what the purpose of having the Kookaburra ball was, is try and take 20 wickets with that good luck, they failed.
Failed spectacularly. But I will say, if they're trying to replicate Australian conditions, did they not watch our last summer and have seen what's happening with, climate in summer down in Australia, where like some of these wickets, they uncover them and they've got more green in them than Hads' Mountain Dew trucker cap that he's got on right now. It's, might not be like for like that they're trying to replicate something that it's not quite going to work.
They're trying to make a contest between bat and ball. They're trying to make first-class cricket hard work to get wickets and runs. Like if you're playing a flat wicket, you've got to Kookaburra ball. You've got to find a way. You've got to be experimental with your captaincy. We've seen Ben Stokes do it. He tries different things. They're trying to make for better cricket. Like, as I said, 800's not good cricket, and that's nothing to do with the ball. It's to do with the captains saying, well, I'm just going to get 800. Well, declare it 500. Put pressure on your bowlers. Chase 600. England said they'll chase anything. Isn't that the mantra that they're trying to play with?
Mm. Is it that different, the Kookaburra ball to the Duke's ball?
Yep.
It is, but I think from what I've been hearing and reading is that this current batch of Duke's balls are going soft quite quickly. So it probably actually brings them both closer together. Like watching the Test series, it hasn't done a lot early doors. I was watching the last series that India played against England, and Ishant Sharma was swinging an absolute mile, and I've seen no one swing the ball that much in this Test series. So this current crop of Duke's balls probably as close to the Kookaburra as you're going to get.
Well, the Duke's ball's actually been used in the West Indian series. So if you look at the way that's panned out, it's been hard work at the top.
Yeah.
And the middle order's got some runs when the ball started to calm down a bit.
Well, it's soft, but then the wicket's providing something else. So at least there's something else. Whereas in England, it gets flat, the ball's soft. What do you do?
Yeah, well, neither ball does anything like a taped-up tennis ball in the backyard. So just wear it, guys.
Well, if you can't get it reversing, then you don't have a lot of options.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's struggle town. It's 800.
It's 800. By the way, head to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave us a review. We want to get to 300 reviews before the Ashes.
Where are we at? Have we got 2 more this week?
Who's the first one there?
Heels'
What's the name? Alyssa for Goat says, I listened to this exclusively because of Heels. She's the real goat and a very entertaining and insightful listen. Banter is top notch. Well, we might as well just go, Hats.
Well, it's
get Heels
very
to talk to
eloquently
herself.
put too. Like that's not the way that I would word it. So you know that that's not me.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I would have thrown in a sledge at Hats, so it's not me. But whoever Alyssa for Goat is, hello. Thank you.
A double down here from Cold Head listener.
the uncle.
Love the pod. Heels is the goat and the backbone of the pod. The only thing that matches her podcasting skills are her exceptional keeping skills.
Can't disagree.
He's blind.
Do you have a family barbecue this weekend?
No, actually, but thanks everyone. I'm feeling the love after Had's got it all last week. This perked me up a little bit. I feel a little bit better about
You're back.
today.
You're back. And Australia has the Frank Worrell Trophy to bring back to Australia after this series in the West Indies, where Hads is heading for the third test. And we'll get to that in a moment. But guys, Australia convincingly again better bowlers and marginally better batters, it seems. What's the balance between the two sides after these two test matches in the Caribbean?
It's an interesting one. I reckon at both stages the game has been in the balance, but I think our middle order has stood up probably more so than what the West Indian middle order has. I think both top orders have struggled, and when the game's been in the balance, the three engine room in the middle and Head, Webster and Carey have just got going and put us in a position to then, set something that they can't chase, knowing the bowling attack we've got. But I think that both bowling attacks have put both sides under pressure at one point in time, but our middle order were just too good in the end.
Yeah, I think we're just witnessing a really good Australian team playing against a poor West Indian team.
Is it that poor?
I don't think they're that bad.
I think they are.
Inexperienced.
They're inexperienced. They're trying to build, and they play well for an hour or a session. Then when the game needs to be won, they've been in positions where they can drive the game. Test cricket's about winning moments, recognising those moments and reacting quicker than the other team. And every time there's been a moment where West Indies look like they're getting into the test match, the Aussie boys have turned it on.
But that's what Australia's done really well forever. Since I can think about the inception of cricket in my own mind, Australia have done that really well. So that's what we pride ourselves on. As soon as the opposition have half a sniff, we shut the door really quickly. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing. And the one thing the West Indies, and they're trying to rebuild to take out of it, if they play at their best, they can compete for a certain period of time. But they can't compete yet over 5 days. And that's one thing when they come back and review the series. Yes, we played well here, but we've got to recognise the moments in test matches and get through them, and then they can start to develop their test cricket. So they'll take a lot of learnings out of this. They've had times where they've had Australia on the ropes and their bowlers just haven't been able to stand up. They've dropped catches, same with their batting. But Australia have showed their class when they had to.
Well, Adam, the bowlers have been relentless in that regard as well. They hadn't exactly let anyone off. You start with Mitch and Josh, they're on point.
Yeah.
and then you think you get a breather, in comes Pat, and then all of a sudden you bring Nathan into the attack and he gets into the series and takes wickets at crucial times as well. So you throw Beau Webster in there as well, who chipped in with a couple of wickets. So I think that's where we stand out, and that's probably where some other teams are probably lacking a little bit, is that true relentlessness.
You know, the best bowling I seen in this test match was half an hour after stumps.
Who?
Green.
Oh, yeah?
Did you
Is
notice
he having
that?
a roll?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
He was. So they finished the test match. Obviously, they've called him back out in the middle with the bowling coach. I think it's Adam Griffin, and he was bowling through his action. So,
After they've won the test match?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. Sometimes you got to run laps at him.
Yeah. Well, that's the only time you get the opportunity to get a centre wicket and roll out. So,
okay.
Which it might seem a little thing,
Feel
but
for the guy. It's just
no.
delaying
you
a can being
It
opened.
sucks. Yeah.
don't. No, I love it. They're building up, making sure he's got his bowling ready for the Ashes.
You love it, but if you had to do it,
Yeah.
would you be loving it after winning a test match?
I'd be in no state to do it after the test match, but I can understand why they're doing it.
Well,
Yeah.
and on reporting on that, it seemed to be like one of the quickest team songs that we've heard, that I've.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Put his own style on it, has he?
yeah. Alex's first team song, and I think it was.
Straight back in the sheds. Did it straight away.
No, I don't think
Oh.
that. I just was like from oftentimes when I. They win the game, and then I hear from Mitch is a varying amount of time, depending on
Good boy,
what they've
Mitch.
done or what, you know. And I heard from him quite quickly. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah,
Update. I'm sure someone on the ground over there can provide a further update.
fair enough. Well, I did notice Steve Smith put up a social media post of them at some, beachside bar sitting down for a meal. It looks like they were just off on a normal thing. It didn't look like they just won a test match. They were sitting down looking at menus and acting very civilised. This is not Australian cricket as we know
Another
it.
test match to go at.
This is not Australian cricket as we know it. We want players like 8 hours after it, bare feet, still in their kit, baggy green on, just reeking of corona.
I think there's types. So I'm sure that those ones would have been there, but you're probably not on Instagram.
Yeah, that was Carey and Smith that I spotted in that shot. It's unusual.
Very responsible of them.
Who stood up the most for you? Both of you. You're just happy because everyone's being responsible.
The bowlers
Live a
continue.
little.
The bowlers continue to shine, and they've done that for long periods of time. But what I liked Green. I liked that he found a way to get some runs at number 3.
Geez, he was happy when he chopped on in that second one.
Oh yeah.
Does he get fined for that? For dropping the F-bomb when he
No, let it go.
stumped Mike?
I'll let it go. But Alex Carey, to me, I'm liking his style of play, and I have for some time. But over the last 24 months, under pressure, the way he counter-attacks, mate, Travis Head's done it for a long time as well. But Carey is a man now for a crisis. He comes out, he puts pressure back on. He's at the top of his game, and it's a really good space to be in as a cricketer. He looks relaxed. Alex Carey could overtrain. I reckon when he first started his career, did too much, but it looks like he's found a real good balance between training at the intensity you need and performing. So to me, I've enjoyed watching Alex Carey grow into the cricketer he is under pressure.
Same. He stole my thunder. I was going to give Kez a massive rap. Well-deserved player of the match as well. I think his work behind the stumps has been exceptional as well. In the wickets doing everything up, down, sideways, and he's covering a lot of ground. That's been amazing. But I think the emergence of our middle order is, to me, really exciting. I think for years we've been talking about our batting lineup, and then there's been conversations about the openers, and then at the middle order at some point in time. But how good that you've got a middle order that can save you when you need to. And sometimes that happens. Like the new ball isn't easy to face. And when you've got a Dukes ball over there on a wicket doing a bit, the top 4 are in for a real tough time. But to know that your 5, 6, 7 can get you out of trouble and your bowlers can contribute as well, whether they're happy about being on their feet all day, every day, who cares? But I think that is really cool heading into what will be a huge summer over here.
Do we know the third test is, and Had's you're going?
It's still not
We don't.
confirmed.
We don't know if it's pink ball or not.
I don't know if we even know it's happening.
No.
You might be going for a holiday. It's in the schedule,
Not
but
for the first time the West Indies. When he was playing.
It's in the schedule, but it hasn't been confirmed.
Because apparently the lights are no good.
Yeah.
Or they're having issues sorting out the lights. So
Imagine facing the Aussie boys with a pink ball and the lights aren't any good.
that'd be awesome.
The
Awesome
West
fun.
Indian attack's not not exactly slow either.
We can get through that.
Top 6, keep it the same, Hads?
I think so, yep.
Yeah.
No change.
You gotta.
No need.
No.
You gotta leave it. Let it go. Like, we just watched Cam Green sort of work it out. Like, he's a good learner, he's a good problem solver, and we've got to let the others starting their careers, i.e. Constas, and we don't need to keep raving on about him, but we got to let him find a way himself. And it's not going to be easy. It might not look pretty, but it might be a really good opportunity for him to finally find something that he can then take into the winter, because he doesn't have another red ball game for a while, take into the winter and work on heading into an Ashes series.
I heard some really, really good comments from the captain, actually. I thought Paddy, when he summed up Sam, said, mate, every innings doesn't have to be your last. You're here to learn. Learn on the job. By the end of this series, you'll take some findings out of it. And it's hard, and this is part of becoming a Test cricketer, is putting that much pressure on yourself to get the result. Like, he's just looking for a 50 or a 60, but worry about the process, worry about what you're learning on the way through. He's going to be a great player, but I think Paddy summed it up best. The other thing that come out of that game we haven't spoke about is Braithwaite for the West Indies. He played his 100th Test.
Milestone games suck.
Is that going to be the last West Indian player to play 100 Tests?
Potentially, yeah.
Never say never.
Never say never.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah. Last one was Chris Gale. And a lot of their players now retire to go and play 2020 and chase the lights. That's their...
You know what I reckon it depends on? As weird as this sounds, it depends on the distribution to member nations from the ICC.
Well, I think it'll be... Yes, I think it will be really interesting to see if they do split the divisions. Yeah. And so if all of a sudden the West Indies are a part of, let's say, Div 1A, I don't want to call it Div 2 because that sounds really crap.
No, it's Div 2.
Div 2, right? They'll actually be really competitive in that against some sides that are also sort of finding their feet in Test cricket, right? So if they're starting to play more Test cricket, the money's available in that, then yes, I think that maybe we might see some more, but yeah, like you said, it's up to the ICC.
If they're fair income, it happens. If they're not fair income, they just let it rot.
But that
just goes and they play T20 for the rest of their lives.
Someone summed it up perfectly the other day in saying, like, everyone keeps talking, there's this perception that Test cricket is dying. But how amazing are the Test matches that we're watching?
Yeah.
So there's like all this chatter and they don't fit in the schedule and they don't do this. But every single one that we've watched over the last 4 weeks has been incredible. It's been really exciting to watch. So... They've got to find a way to put it in there.
Fans have got a finite amount of spare time to watch. And I know for a fact, and the people I hang out with, I do have friends, very select group, but we're watching...
Haven't met any of them.
We're watching...
Bozza.
They're here in the studio right now. Can't you see them? Imaginary. They're watching the 2 Test series. They're not watching Major League Cricket. With all due respect to Major League Cricket, I know what they're trying to do over there, grow the game in America. Yeah. You're watching Test cricket. Prioritising that. I'm not sure I'm frothing at the mouth to find out what happens in the Australia West Indies T20 series, which is coming after this. It'll be interesting to see what happens and some of our younger players getting a go. But it's all eyes on Sam Constas. How's he going to go as a Test cricketer? That's what it means for us. And you have a look at the crowds in England, or I dare say the TV ratings in India. It's going okay.
Man, the crowd's good.
Yeah.
They're sold out.
Yeah, filled up. Even for day 5, when the result looked a foregone conclusion, when India set England about 875 million to win. So
it's awesome. Prioritise it.
Yeah.
And continue to give more teams the opportunity to play it, because I think it's only going to get better.
I don't think the West Indies, no matter what happens, will prioritise Test cricket. They're trying to.
No, but I think if they get some help, then they will be able to.
And they need that help from the ICC. They're not going to get it locally with their revenue.
I just think that the style of athlete they are, 2020 suits them down to the ground. And there's so many franchises around the world, and their appetite to play. Look at Nicholas Puram. He said, no, I'm franchising. They haven't got an appetite over there to play Test cricket. A lot of them don't want to do the work to become a Test cricketer. It's hard work to become a Test cricketer.
Yeah. And which is why it's a magnificent achievement on the horizon if they do play this 3rd Test. And I reckon he's pretty keen to have it a pink ball test. One Mitchell Starc. He's on 395 Test wickets, 400 in his 100th. That'd be nice.
Hope he twins his calf and does it in Australia.
Oh, I was like, whoa, rude.
Okay, I'm staying out of this. Do you want to retort there?
We had this discussion a couple of weeks ago that I don't think he really minds where where it's played. He
I
just
hope
wants to
your
do it.
husband gets injured.
Well, I mean,
Brutal.
I wish
Not my husband.
No.
well, I wish I could go.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
saying.
I don't think I could be there in Perth either. So it's like, well, I'd want him to do it, tick it off, get 400 wickets as well, and then
Yep.
go to the Ashes just
Ready to
like a legend.
So you're going. You want to see this, don't you? You're
you'll
actually
be
calling
there.
your
I
third
want to
test.
see it. I'm all for it. It's an amazing achievement. What he's given up for a fast bowler, it's extraordinary to play 100 tests. I'm just saying, I would have liked to see it. In
I know.
Australia.
Can you,
But it's great.
Can you give him a cuddle from us?
I'll have 30 beers with him at the end. I'll buy him.
There'll be cuddles after that. He's a
Maybe
friendly
then-
drunk over, mate. Before he smoke bombs.
maybe
Just make sure he doesn't spew, evidently.
Or rum.
Yeah.
Bit of a Havana club. Can someone line up a chat with him for us?
I don't have his number.
Your I'm laughing because I'm not entirely sure that that's not true. I don't have his number. Hads, when you get over there, can you maybe line up a quick chat through
Yeah,
on your phone and just send it through to
Do
us
some
or
work.
something?
I'll see.
Starkey, if you're listening to us, give us a buzz.
Huge achievement, wherever it is anyway.
Yeah.
Well done.
Exactly. Did he have to field at gully at one point in this game?
Yeah, I laughed at the rundown. It says didn't seem too happy by it. Correct. We were not happy about it.
Why? Why did he have to do that?
Well, because Smithy wasn't in the slips because of
That's
his
fair
finger.
enough. Understandable.
So then they had to put somebody else because Ingo then was not in the side, so they had to put somebody else in there. So they just get the next tallest guy to go in there. Pat wouldn't do it. I've never seen Pat in the slips. No. Hoff, no way. So Mitch had to do it.
When I was with the Australian team, Mitch was one of the better catchers. We tried to get him in the gully for a long, long time.
He doesn't want to do it.
Yeah. And if you don't want to do it, you just break a finger and you lose your
that's
quick.
it.
But
He's
a good catcher.
he loves roaming around the paddock at fine leg and
Fair enough.
yeah.
For this third test, and we'll discuss it in our next episode in greater detail, but so Boland, Abbott, Marnus and Matt Kuhneman are over there and they haven't fired a shot in a test match, unfortunately, because the side is the side. Any kind of swap around rotation or just go for the 3-0?
Well, you don't
with
need
this team?
to. They've had enough time off the fast bowlers. I think all the batters need to be given this series, especially the top order to find a way out. The only change that could happen is Kuhneman come in if the wicket is an absolute ragger. But I don't think you need to with Head there with Lyon and Webster. So I don't see any changes unless the wicket dictates that.
The only way that I'd see it happening is if maybe, let's say, I think Hoff's the only one of that bowling group that's staying for the T20s. So if potentially he might need a break, then maybe someone like Boland comes in, straight swap. But that's completely, I would suggest, in Josh's court to say whether or not he's feeling fresh or whatever it might be. But I wouldn't give people a crack just for shits and giggles because I think the conditions haven't exactly been terrific for everyone. So if you're going to throw someone in the deep end, it's not going to go well.
And meantime, up in Australia's north, in the tropics of Australia, Australia A, 2 games against Sri Lanka A so far, both one days, 1 win, 1 loss. Matt Renshaw in the runs, 106 not, and 80. Jason Sanger, who we had on last week's episode, he was late for the team meeting, but he got a half century in one of the games. Nathan McSweeney, 85 not out. Ollie Peake as well, 55 of not many.
Yeah.
Not
He's
out.
a good player.
Good young player, the Victorian, and Sam Elliott a fifer in one of those games as well. So some good numbers and great experience up there in the north.
Great experience. And there's a couple of Matt Renshaw, he had a lean season last year. So to see him back in the runs in the middle order, which is in the white ball, he started to play in the middle order and did a really good job. Nathan McSweeney, he was outstanding in the game. I watched the highlights, but that Oliver Peake is an interesting one. I think he might have played one first-class game. I think got 50 on debut. He's a up-and-coming schoolboy legend. But to go and perform against Sri Lanka A, 55, bat at the end of the game, mate, that's a good sign for Australian cricket. I like that they're giving guys like this a go.
We are off to a quick drinks break. Back in a moment to talk about England getting absolutely pummeled by India in the second test, and a little thing we want to run with our listeners about Fab Fours and what's it going to look like in 5 years' time. And I'm extending this as long as possible because Heels needs to cough. So we'll go to the drinks break and we'll be back in a second. We're back on Willow Talk.
I've coughed.
The
Everyone.
world's longest throw there before the break. But on this week's second episode, we're going to throw it out there. We want to know what the Fab Fours in men's cricket are going to look like in a couple of years' time. With the fact that, who was it? Smith, Kohli, Root, Williamson. That was pretty much how it looked with the bat. Yeah. What's it going to look like in 5 years' time in cricket? A bit of a changing of the guard.
Brooke, Gill.
Yeah.
Ravindra.
Ravindra. Yeah.
I don't know who the Aussie is. We had this discussion the other day, and I was like, I don't know who the Fab Four is, but I haven't quite nailed down the Aussie yet. Well, you'd assume there's an Aussie in there, but it might not be.
Green, with his age profile, might be the best
I hope
option.
so. I hope he's the one we're talking about in 5 years' time, but I don't think anyone's really reared their head just yet. Then I thought maybe there'd be a South African in there.
Mm?
Is Markram still young?
30.
Markram's young.
Yeah.
He's 30.
He's young.
Brevis.
Yeah, someone like that.
Yeah.
Stubbs.
Stubbs, good cricketer.
Yeah. So could we have a Fab Five?
Let us know via social media. Who do you reckon is going to be the Fab Four bowlers and batters in world cricket in 5 years' time? And Hills.
Oh, we didn't do bowling.
No, bowling. But we'll get the women's as one from you as well later in the week too. Oh. What's it going to look like?
You want to talk about women's cricket?
Yeah. Oh. Why not? You were hoping that England were going to get 3-0 down in that series against India, weren't you? You want to come in guns loaded tonight.
I think we're going to get there, and I think they should have been 3-0 down. But anyway, we'll get there at the end, won't we?
Yeah, exactly. But we'll focus on what happened at Edgbaston first and foremost. And has there been a cricketer in the history of cricket that has taken to the captaincy like Shubman Gill?
Yeah, wowee.
585 runs in 2 tests, 269, 161. And if you don't mind, he didn't look exactly troubled in either knock there in Birmingham over the weekend.
Yeah, but this is, I brought it up earlier, about the batch of balls, and I watched a little clip on his dismissals early in his career, and the ball was moving a lot. He got bowled LB a lot, like coming back through the gate. That was his technical flaw, and all of a sudden that's not happening now. So he's gone and worked on that. He's fixed that. But also the ball, not really doing a whole heap has probably helped him in that regard too. I'm not downplaying this at all because it's been remarkable. But yeah, kudos to him for making some technical changes, knowing that hopefully they'd work in England.
So there was a post on social media I saw on the weekend that I forgot to put on the group chat. Sorry, guys.
Oh, cheers, man.
I was enjoying
Did you send it to your other friends?
Yeah. Exactly. No, it's left me on unread as well. 2022, there's a picture of Shubman Gill playing a forward defensive stroke in the exact same kind of line of ball in 2025. And to my extremely untrained eye, unlike your eyes, right shoulder is a lot more forward in the current version, and he just looks more aligned with everything. Everything's straighter. Bat, front pad, everything.
Well, yeah, you look at that. So he's countered the way that he was getting out. So that top picture there that's the ball coming back in is really going to trouble someone that's doing that. He's covering that now. And he's also being really diligent with the stuff outside, because the other way that the team could go is start nicking you off when you start playing at balls like that. So he's being patient enough to let that go. And then when they do come in at him, he's got that covered.
It's what the best players in the world do. You all come in to start the test career. Everyone's got footage of everyone, and sometimes you can get exposed in a certain way, and it's not about getting exposed. It's about how you react to that and come back, and he's come back world class. We've seen this for some time coming in the IPL. He's been great taking over the captaincy there. He doesn't get flustered. He seems one of those guys, got an even tempo through the whole time. And that's good for an Indian captain, because a lot of the time you can get caught up in the emotion of what's happening in the game. But what he's done with his team, the big thing as well, no Bumrah. And what I like about the result is he talked a lot about the Bumrah effect. But when you put them guys out of the team, it's amazing how some of the players react when you got your best players out. You don't know sometimes. They just go through the motions. Bumrah's going to... They get all the good overs. But when they're not there, guys like Siraj and that get those overs when the new batter comes in and they stand up. That's what I liked about it.
Well, Deep actually has a really good record in Test cricket, but just doesn't get much of a go, because when they're when they're full strength, he's sort of the next one to go. But you're right. I feel like Siraj really stood up. He's kind of like the barometer of that bowling attack at times anyway. He brings energy, he brings passion, he runs in, he charges in, and he tries to make things happen. And sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't, but it came off in this test. And then you got Akash Deep down the other end making it look easy as well, taking wickets. So go India.
Yeah.
Brilliantly put.
Well done.
Yeah. You would have done it in your captaincy sometimes. You got to be really careful. When you've got someone like Bumrah in your team, every time you get a wicket, I'll quickly bring Bumrah on. I've got a partnership, bring him on. And you forget how good the other bowlers can be. And in this test match, Gill just captained without having his strike bowler there. And you look in the first innings, there was 6 ducks. So Siraj and that they enjoyed getting the ball in those moments where normally Bumrah would get them. So it's great signs for India.
What do they do bringing Bumrah back for Lords? I mean, Akash Deep, you can't drop him 10 wickets. The way he was moving the ball around as well and firing in.
They still bat pretty deep. I mean, you had Washington Sundar in there with Jadeja, so you could leave one of them out and still bat deep enough. Nitish Reddy played as well. Hads is calling for Kuldeep again. So they still bat deep enough that you could play those quicks with Bumrah and just leave one of your spinners out. Or, as Hads is suggesting, play the extra bat, leave both spinners out and play Kuldeep.
Are you his agent, Kuldeep's agent, are you?
I think he's echoing a lot of people's thoughts right around the world. I will say that.
Yeah. Can you make 3 changes to a side that just won by 336 runs?
Well, Bumrah comes in.
Yeah, well, that's one, obviously. You're not changing the batting lineup.
Well, you're not changing the top 6. You can play with 7 and 8. You got Reddy there as well, depending on what style of game or style of wicket you're going to get. It might be a totally different surface. You might need the two spinners. You might go an extra batter, but I would like some time that they take the attacking option and get him in the team.
The one shining light for England with the bat was Jamie Smith.
Freak.
Harry
I get
Brook.
it now.
But is it just me or is his style of batting really going to suit, okay, maybe the rest of this series, but when he gets down here?
Yeah, we're going to be. I think we're going to have to be pretty proactive against him. He looks very comfortable. And I will say, I get it now. I think initially when he got picked in the squad, I was like, why are you picking this guy? Like, Ben Foakes is doing a decent job. He's a good gloveman. Who's this young guy? And Hads was telling me I was wrong the whole time. So well done, Brad. But I get it now. I've watched.
Check out the brain on Brad.
Yeah, I've watched him for a bit now, and I'm like, I get it.
Yeah,
completely get it. So it's exciting for England, I think. But yeah, on flatter wickets over here could be interesting.
Go on, Hads. Take your flowers and wave to the crowd. Well done.
Just go on to the next.
In saying that though, he loves the pull shot, right? So it's a real strength of his. I think we can use that to our advantage on slightly bouncier wickets, harder Kookaburra ball. I think we can challenge him in that department. India only really got it up to chest height, and he was tweaking them for 6. But if we get him a little bit higher, knowing he wants to play the pull shot, I think in Australia that can cause some problems.
My big take from his innings is a momentum changer, and he's not worried whether he's 5 for 300 or 5 for 120. His job's to come in and change momentum, and the beauty with someone like that is he's got the shots all around the ground. So if he does start to get going, it starts to question your captaincy. Do you have in-out fields? And so they'll have to do their homework, because number 7 in Australia, you can get the second new ball, which he doesn't mind. He likes to take on, or you're 40 or 50 when that second new ball comes on, and then the games can be really different because he can change momentum. So yeah, he's going to be one to watch. They'll do their homework on him. He's also never been to an Ashes series as well. Yeah. So that's another mental thing you got to get used to as well.
Yeah, made a couple of errors with the gloves as well. So put him, mind you, he was out there the whole game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think big series. It'll be interesting.
Ben Stokes, first innings, cops an absolute beauty first up.
Yeah.
Second innings, tries to dig in, gets out again, way short of what he wanted to do. Which begs the question, where exactly is he at with his form? Some numbers. Since January 2024, 29 knocks, 3 shy of 700 runs, no hundreds, 550s, average of 26.8. Hasn't got 100 since Ashes 2023, and in 16 of his 25 dismissals, those have been against spin bowling. This reads like a crucifixion of Ben Stokes' batting ability. He averages 18.4 against spin. Not trying to put down the guy because he's a great leader for England at the moment.
I'm not saying a word.
Where's he at with the bat?
I'm not saying a word about it because he's that guy. As soon as you say something, we talk about this right now. You know what he's going to do next Test match.
172 off 80 balls.
Because, Willow Talk's probably at the top of his podcast list, so he'll hear this.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I'm not saying a word because I'm not.
I'm gonna.
Okay, I'm not going to challenge. That reads interesting, but I'm not going to challenge his form because I feel like when it really matters, he'll play something unbelievable.
I think reading that's what Ben Stokes' career's been. And then in that, there's been some unbelievable match-winning moments. And I think that's what Ben Stokes is known for. It's not his consistency. It's his appetite to get through those massive moments. And that's where he's come out on top a number of times. Statistically wise, he's not like up there with the greats of the game. But what he has done well in the past is got England in positions to win Test matches when he has to. And he's been bowling okay too, but I like that the stats read bad now. I'm enjoying it.
Oh, bet you are.
I think he's been bowling a lot more as well, and he bowls the tough overs. He comes in, he bowls the short ball stuff. He bowls when the team really need someone to just grit their teeth and do it. So he's got a lot on his plate, so I wouldn't read into it too much.
Well, he might be under pressure because the toss. He won the toss.
It's a strange one.
He's only ever batted first once, though, in England. So he's clearly got a way he wants to approach it.
Well, that to me says he doesn't trust his bowlers. He's just going, okay, we'll chase whatever you set. And he's not trusting his bowlers to bowl him to victory on the last day. It says a lot about the off-spinner in the team. Does he trust the spin he has? Does he trust that the bowlers can get 20 wickets? Or he's got to wait for the game to set up in front of them and the other team drive the game, and they'll start to play cricket on day 5.
Surely Jofra Archer plays at Lords.
Yeah, you got to probably go that way.
Absolutely have to. Gus Atkinson's in the squad as well. Josh Beer, a listener, got in contact on Instagram, said England have to revert to their short ball strategy early on in the innings against Jaiswal on a flat pitch. Surely they have to bring something better to Australia. Yeah,
that's all well and good, but you've got to have the attack to do that. And Chris Woakes isn't going to do that for you. Josh Tongue, probably is the one to do it, but not against the lefty. He takes the ball away from the left-hander. So for him to come in, he's probably going to have to bowl around the wicket, bowl in at Jaiswal. That's uncomfortable for him. That's not the way that he shapes the ball. Bryden Cast can maybe do it. He's looks like he's struggling with a foot or something. His boot is literally being held together by strapping tape. So that's good, but if you don't have the people to do it, Jofra Archer's the one that's going to have to do it. And then do you risk breaking him early?
Do you play Archer in this test, no matter what?
I would. I think they need a little freshen up. I don't know who you're leaving out. I'm not sure. I hadn't thought that through. But
if he's at his best, he's in. But he hasn't been in and around for 4 years. Do you give him this one-off test match to see where he's at? Then put his feet up.
Well, they're obviously concerned. Sorry, has the butt in, but they could have played. He could have played county cricket this last round, but they were obviously concerned that he might have been having to bowl 30 overs or whatever because of the decks and the Kookaburra ball, and they brought him in because they wanted him to be in that team environment which he hadn't been in for a while.
Well, what they brought him in for is to have a look at where he's at. I mean, he would have been away with his county system for a long time, getting ready, played that game, then come in so Stokes and McCullum can get eyes on him. Your high performance staff can see where his body's at. Mate, lets a few go in the nets and see where he's at. It'd be good to see him play at Lords, on especially the slope, and that's where he really made his name for himself when he went after the Aussies, went after Steve Smith and Marnus there.
Yeah, well, Bumrah and Archer at Lords, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And Test cricket's dying at him.
Oh yeah, I want to see him play.
Look at me.
I want to see him play actually to see where he's at before the Ashes.
Yeah,
to see if he has got that other gear still, because he's been out a long time.
Yeah.
And if he has still got that gear, mate,
Trouble.
it will be exciting Test cricket, Adam. I know you don't like it, but it will be exciting.
What? Have you got wax in your ears from the weekend or something? That's third test to start. I got my dates right. Thursday at Lords. So quick turnaround in between test matches. There's 8 days between tests 3 and 4. So hence the Bumrah reason for leaving him out. The quick turnaround. He'll be freshened up. Should be a great test match at Lords. Anyway, enough about England's struggles, if you can ever have enough.
Yeah, hang on.
Well done, India. Sundries, South Africa have continued their rich vein of form. Test cricket, Zimbabwe. It is Zimbabwe. Good to see Zimbabwe playing Test cricket, though. But South Africa, as we sit here right now, 4 for 465. Yeah, Mulder, 264 not in his captaincy debut. So there you go.
Well, all you can play is who's in front of you. And South Africa, that obviously beat Australia, but mate, they're good numbers. No matter who you're playing, 264 not out. I know it's Zimbabwe, but it's still a test match.
Well, and they're not playing. That's the side that beat Australia in the Test Championship final isn't playing in this fixture. There's maybe 1 or 2. I think Carl Verena came.
It's not quite South Africa C who went to New Zealand that time. It's South Africa B almost.
I think a few came back in for this game, but I mean, how good? Like South Africa will be super excited about some of the talent that they've got coming through.
Speaking of talent, Vaibhav Suryavanshi, 52-ball century for India under 19s. This is the kid who's 14 years of age who played for Rajasthan in the IPL. So he's still got 5 years of this in under 19s.
I think is he 15 now?
He might be 15.
I think he may have just turned 15.
Sorry, he's only got 4 more years of playing under 19s cricket. He'll. I dare say that he won't do his full quota of years in the under 19s. Is it fair to say, Hads? He'll be making his senior debut in a couple of years' time. Maybe not tomorrow.
It's exciting to watch.
Well, where do you put him, though?
Yeah.
Like you say, when's he going to debut? But who's missing out?
Yeah.
That's scary.
In their T20 side, at the very least.
Yeah, I don't think there's any great rush. He could have 25 years left of first class cricket. So there's no rush there. Mate, there's another guy that has been over there touring with an Indian squad. And watch out, Mushi Khan. He got 100 and 6 for recently. They've got a Indian under 23s tour. I know we talk about this young man here, but watch that name. Don't be surprised if you see him around the test squad in the next 12 months.
Kind of bowler.
He's a little left arm ortho, but he's a top order batter.
Oh, okay.
Sarfraz Khan's his brother that's played for India.
He was a real talent when he first burst onto the scene. He sort of fell away a little bit, came back, made runs, but then isn't in the test side.
Well,
that's cool.
Good for Indian cricket because they're really struggling with their depth at the moment. They
could move to Australia.
Yeah. India, their women's side as well, 2-1 up and feeling a bit down. Not just the 1K time trials that you were doing before you came in today, Heels, because you were hoping that it was almost going to be India 3-0 over England.
Well, yeah, and I don't want to talk about it too much because I'll get myself into trouble. But, I feel like India should have been 3-0 up. I think they needed maybe 14, 15 off the last 2 overs. Ended up needing 12 off the last and just couldn't get the boundary when Neebi Harmanpreet Kaur was out there batting well set as well. So it almost could have been 3-0, but Lauren Bell bowled a really nice last over and got England over the line, which will hopefully give them a little bit of confidence moving forward. Obviously, they beat the West Indies pretty comfortably in that series in Lottie's first time taking charge, but they've come up against a really good side here and have struggled. So the 5 T20s, but I think the ODIs at the back end of that series will be a real big point to see where both teams are at.
Have they changed their style, England? New coach? Different personnel?
The personnel has been the interesting part of the discussion. Some of the players that weren't around T20 cricket have come back into the side in this series, which is quite interesting. Heather Knight actually must be doing comms and actually made comments on some of the selections about who was missing out, who was playing, which I found quite fascinating.
Close to the bone.
Well, I mean, she's got to come back into the side at some point, right? Anyway, each their own. But yeah, the personnel's been tricky, and you can see now they didn't have a leadership progression. Nat Sivabrunt takes over, isn't bowling, now gets injured, it's missing the rest of the T20 series. Tammy Beaumont's captain. So you're already looking to a player that's been around for a little bit, been in and out of the side. They really didn't have any thoughts past, Heather and Nat, which I find really interesting. So they're in an interesting place at the moment, but they got some good young players that are coming through, getting opportunities that Lottie's giving them, so that's cool.
So we're only a little over 2 months away from a World Cup, 50 over World Cup. Is that sneaking up on everyone? Or what's the chat?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I hope it's tomorrow.
Yeah, you look good.
but that's what I mean. Like the one-day series, I think will be more of a showcase of two really good sides because they'll be shaping up for the World Cup. But yeah, it's coming around really quickly. I keep thinking it's months and months away, but it's not. We quite literally head over early September to play India before the World Cup. So our group's going really well. I think most of them, well, half of them are in the UK now. Some are playing the Vitality Blast stuff, and the rest are training. Got a team camp in 10 days' time, so hopefully get all together and then see the rest of them off for the 100, and then the old girls stay at home and play some white ball cricket.
And golf. White ball golf.
Yeah.
Where's the camp?
Brisbane.
Oh, Brisbane.
Yep.
Okay. Warmer climes.
Yep.
You can go down to Tassie and really get into the wilderness up there. You went to the wilderness up in Northern Territory. Just go to the other end of the country.
We head for the warmth, Adam, and where turf wickets are available, that's generally north.
Where the facilities are. This is a proper cricket camp, not a cultural one.
Correct.
Well,
the girls are that camp will be a see you later to the girls playing the 100, so they'll be ready to go, ready for matches, and the rest of us will just be training.
Good stuff. Hads, you're off on your own travels this week as well. You've got how long does it take to get there? About 82 hours?
Yep, just short. But I tell you where I'm coming back on the way home is through Texas.
Oh, really?
So I said
blown away, or
I said to my wife, if I might
with the wind
miss my connecting flight and have a couple of days in the bar with the listening to some country music, had the
with your Resh's hat.
Yeah.
go to see if I can find a bourbon hat.
Oh, yes. I don't think there'll be shorter trucker hats in Texas. Yeah, I'd love to. We're going to get there.
Willow talk on tour.
Yeah, one day. Lady, gentlemen, thank you. Happy travels. See you later in the week. Don't run too hard.
Thanks.
Stop running. Hit balls, catch balls.
Yes,
Did
exactly.
you hear that?
Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. Yeah, thanks for watching the Willow Talk podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't have to miss an episode wherever you are. And while you're at it, check out these videos up here. They're mostly good.